welcome to my home. And if you want to pass through these gates, you have to be part mystic and prepared for everything that will surprise you, and part visionary to imagine the very best that could happen to you, and therefore create your best shopping list.
Jim Channon's story begins during the Vietnam War.
That's 30 days under combat conditions, and I had more like 15 months. But this is real stuff. It's the only one that, you know, in the end really counts if you want to have any credibility. Being in Vietnam 8 years without a satisfactory conclusion left us as an army thinking that, you know, we've got to change some things here.
Jim says that in Vietnam, the US Army was guileless and kind-hearted, and many of his men were killed because they impulsively fired high, missing their targets, and they just weren't the killing machines that the Army wanted them to be.
I find that the kind of human being that is attracted to military service has a great deal of difficulty being cunning. We suffered in Vietnam so much from not being cunning. We just presented ourselves, you know, in our righteousness and got our butts shot off.
When Jim returned from Vietnam, he asked the Pentagon if he could go on a fact-finding mission. He wanted the Army to learn how to be more cunning. The Pentagon, bruised like Jim from Vietnam, agreed. Jim's first stop was here, at Esselen in Big Sur.
Can you have some fun with this back? See if you can kind of have a conversation with this back. Tell it how you feel about it right now, how you're feeling right now, what's going on. Really let it come from you. See if you can express yourself in your back.
And everywhere I went, I told them what I was up to, that I'm part of a military think tank, and I'm here to learn whatever I can, and they helped me immensely.
Were they surprised?
Yeah, they were surprised and happy.
After visiting 150 Californians, Jim returned from his journey in 1979, and he wrote a confidential paper designed for the military's eyes only. In Jim's 1st Earth Battalion, soldiers would carry baby lambs into hostile countries. They'd greet the enemy with sparkly eyes and an automatic hug. The new battlefield uniform would include a loudspeaker that would automatically emit indigenous music and words of peace. If this wasn't enough to pacify the enemy, the loudspeakers would be switched to broadcast discordant sounds like acid rock music out of sync to bombard and confuse the enemy. Soldiers would learn to fast on juice for a week and eat only nuts and grains for a month. They would fall in love with everyone, sense plant auras, obtain the power to pass through objects, stop their own hearts with no ill effects, have out-of-body experiences, have the ability to massage and cleanse the colon, stop using mindless cliches, stay out alone at night, and be able to hear and see other people's thoughts until they became super warriors, warrior monks.
It was like pulling the pin on a grenade and dropping it in the Pentagon.
Really? It was that big?
It was very powerful. I think it touched everybody that read it.
Fresh strawberries.
It rang true. It especially rang true with combat veterans, you know. It affected a lot of the command structure. And so a lot of people started thinking, how could we apply this? You know, in the special ops areas of the intelligence units, you know, how could we apply this? people started thinking out of the box.